Yeah, baby, what is up? Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to KillJoy Jake. Sounded like the AI version. This is an AI, this whole stream is actually just gonna be AI Jake talking about horror. No, I'm kidding. What's up? It's the real me, I swear. AI Jake could never grow a beard this patchy. I mean, come on now. How we doing, everybody? How we doing? No way on my own stream did I get a good boy ad. Who's excited for that? Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking general horror, whatever the heck you want to talk about, because there's a lot of fun stuff coming up on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen. We have him this week. Him, that one guy. No, I'm just kidding. We have a movie called Him on the horizon. Your boy is getting to see it early tomorrow. Not trying to brag, but I do want to tell y'all that there's going to be a nasty little early review here sometime Thursday. So really excited for that. That review's coming. I also just got a screener for another big horror movie. I can't talk about it. Well, I guess I can talk. I got a screener for the new Justin Long movie, Coyotes. Or Coyotes. That one is coming sometime. Is it, what is that? Oh, I don't even know. Sometime late into the weekend. I believe I can post it anytime after September 20th, if I'm not mistaken. But so I got some early reviews coming, so I'm really excited to get into that. But anyways, it's time to talk about all kinds of crazy things horror. Just like the title of this video would suggest, Final Destination 7, Terrifier 4, and Scream 7 are obviously the big topics, but we can get into whatever the heck we want. Let's see what the chat is saying. We got Richard J. Skarenki saying, I'm a little sick, got a little tummy ache. We'll be here to talk horror nonetheless. I appreciate you. Thank you for thank you for, you know, braving a tummy ache, which is never fun to hang out with us. We greatly appreciate you, my friend. Official Mig on Tiv is saying, yo, what's up, Jake? How are you, y'all? I'm fantastic. I'm well, thank you. Hope you guys are doing so well today. I'm so well. Richard needs a little bit of that wellness, though. Let's throw a little bit of that his way, if we can. Allo J is saying it's nice to actually catch one of your lives. It's nice to actually see you. Welcome in, my friend. Let us know what your favorite horror movie is. Paula Fitzhenry, thank you for being a channel member. You're number one in the chat right now, too. What's up? Nice to see you. It's nice to see you, Paula. Thanks for hanging with us. Ella's also here, too. Also a channel member. Very cool, saying, hey, yo. What's up, Ella? How are you? Welcome in. What's your favorite horror movie? Let us know. What are you excited for in terms of horror, baby? Jordan Curley saying, hey, Jake, how's it going, Curly? What's up, what's up? Hope it's getting awfully curly out there in the chat today. Victor Simpson saying, hey, Jake, hey, horror, hello. Hey, Jake, says Makunda. What's up, Makunda? How's it going? Welcome in. How are you? You love dogs, so I'm not seeing Good Boy? Well, Paula, did you, hang on now. Did you see my short talking about that movie? I don't want to say nothing, but there's a little bit of a spoiler going around about Good Boy. I won't say it for those who, you know, don't want it spoiled, but there's something you might want to know about the film that's spoiled. That's all I'm going to say. Something good. I'm going to shut up because I'm walking right up to that line. Makunda's saying, I saw the trailer for Coyotes. Hell yeah. I did too, and it looks fun. So I reached out to some people and I wanted to see if I could see that one early. It looks like a ton of fun. I love Justin Long. And yet, Victor's even saying Justin Long has been in a lot of horror movies lately. It's really refreshing to see. I couldn't agree more. I love his horror movies. So that was one I was like, ooh, I gotta see that one if I can. That would be fun. So very good stuff there. Dave Sim is saying, what's up, Daddy Jake? That's me. Liver Alone, who's ready to talk some horror? The liver was in the mailbox, man. I love that scene so much. Ugh, good stuff. Samantha Robinson is saying, hey, Jake, you and the Lethal Collective should all dress as Ghostface one week. I actually have a Ghostface costume still from Red Right Hand. I brought it with me to this apartment. Just in case I got to run around wearing that robe. You never know. I mean, you never know. You know, sometimes the party calls for it. So I'm always ready with that. I'm always ready with some crazy costumes. King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing today? I am quite well. How are you, my liege? My liege! I've seen a rumor that the cameo in Scream 7 is someone who was listed on the board in 6 and someone from the past films. I'm hearing a couple, you know, I've heard so many different things. I've heard that it's like Angelina Tyler from 3, and we're going to confirm that she's a ghost face finally. You know, that's been a running theory since Scream 3 came out. I'm also hearing that it could be Amber, maybe. I don't really know why or how or what's up with that, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what's up. I think it would be cool if Amber came back. Cool character, great ghost face. I don't know why. I don't know why they would be there, but we'll have to see. Have I seen Pie Whack It? I recommend it. It's a bit light on the scares, but the horror we did get was good. I have not seen that one, Pie Whack It. I'm gonna have to. That kind of sounds gross. That sounds like a euphemism for whacking it. Whacking it. You know what I mean? No? I'm still writing it down, however, because I'm. Hopefully it's not about that. But we'll see. We'll see what it's all about. Jason Voorhees is back from the lake. We're glad. We're glad. We haven't seen you come back from the lake in a little while. I guess we did get a little short from you recently, but I want a feature. I want a full-length killing spree, my friend. Ella is super pumped for him. I am too. Very excited for that one. I hope it's good. You know, when they do these big early events for them, usually it means the studio has a lot of faith in the movie. So that bodes very well. I hope it really bangs. I really do, because I'm quite excited. Quite excited to see what that's all about. Do you think we'll ever get another Chucky movie? The last I heard, we were supposed to, after the series was, kind of got canned. We were supposed to get some sort of new movie. I would love one. I would love another Chucky movie. That would be a ton of fun. I love the films so much. So Gina's throwing $2 out there saying, hit the like button, people, please. Go ahead. Interact with the stream in any way you possibly want to, even if you want to dislike it. It helps. Shoots it into the algorithm. I love when I get hate comments. It always makes me laugh, because it's like, you're just helping me. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you gotta do. Appreciate it a ton, though, Gina. Thank you. You're also saying Jake has a goal if anyone wants to help. Hey, that would be pretty sick if we hit our super chat goal, which you just kicked off, my friend. We will get another hour of horror talk in, which would be fun. So anything is possible on this stream. The possibilities are endless. Gina, thank you for the $2. Greatly appreciate it. Stefano's also gifted 5 KillJoy Jake memberships. Oh my God, so many people can watch so many exclusive videos now. I'm so excited. God, Stefano rocks. Those are going to Val Janowski, Shay Tarleton, Universal Disappointment, Rob28, and Tyler Ism. Welcome to the fold, everybody. Appreciate you all a ton. And what's really fun about being a member is you get weekly review videos. And I'm sorry, shameless plug. But I'm really proud of my long walk video I put out recently for members. And if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. 5 more of you can see it now. It's a really good one. I'm really proud of that one. So definitely give it a watch. Mikunda is asking, will you watch Strangers 2 in theaters? I'm confused if I should or not. I mean, hey, if you want to see what happens next after Chapter 1, go check it out. I'm definitely going to see it and cover it, but I will say my expectations are in the gutter. I just was not a fan of Chapter 1. Didn't really do it for me much. But we'll see if Chapter 2 is better. That would be nice. That would be awesome. Nothing would make me happier than for Chapter 2 to, knock it out of the park or something like that. That would be great. Muhammad throwing 2 out there as well. You guys are killing it tonight. Thank you. Muhammad, Stefano, and Gina, you guys rock. Thank you for the support. Muhammad's asking, what if the goriest kill in the series is Art himself? Like Art getting dismembered? Ooh, okay. A little bit of payback right there, right after all the vile acts he's committed in the last couple of movies. That would be brutal. I would actually be kind of into something like that if he gets in, like that's the kill. That's the showcase kill of the next movie. That's unexpected. You know what I mean? Sienna being the one to rip him apart. I love that, actually. That would just be that would be poetic. I'd go so far as to say that'd be a poetic death. I almost feel like he would enjoy it. Is that fucked up? Is that really messed up to say? I feel like if that happened to Art, he'd be like, this is awesome. I'm mad respect, If he still has fingers at that point, he'd probably do like one of these kudos. I kind of dig that, though. That feels like a really poetic way to end the Terrifier series. If Muhammad likely saw my video today talking about Terrifier 4, how this whole thing's gonna wrap up. What's going on here? What's gonna happen with this movie? I was really pitching that I think we're going to hell. Some new comments from the director kind of build upon that as well. It's been something we've been theorizing for a while now, but man, some new comments from Mr. Leone tell me that I really think that's what we're getting ourselves into here. So I'm quite excited to see Terrifier 4. I need it in my life like yesterday. I did kind of talk about, though, he is still writing the script. We heard a report from a little while ago that maybe we were going to start, there was a little rumor going around, we were going to start filming this month. I don't think that's the case. I don't even think we're going to start filming until next year at this point. He's still writing the script. I mean, we just got a video of him saying that basically. It's not going to happen this year. Maybe late in December, but I doubt it. Pre-production is one of the most important steps in any sort of production, man. I mean, if you don't plan it out correctly, you're not going to have a good product. I hate the worst phrase ever when it comes to a production is we'll fix it in post. No, you're going to prepare to make it right in pre-production. So hopefully obviously that's going to be the case with Terrifier 4. We've only seen them we've only seen them tighten up and get more sophisticated with each production. So I'm sure Terrifier 4, even though it does feel like it's going to be a big swing doing something completely different, it's definitely going to be that. It's going to have that level of professionalism for sure. Who else is with us? We got Kyle Gording saying, want Emma Roberts back. I love Jill, but it would be fun to see her back. I am curious what Jill, what purpose she would serve in this narrative. I feel like whoever that secret cameo for Scream 7 is, it's got to be someone related to the original in some way. I've heard a lot of people say Jill, but I'm just like, what does Jill have to do with Roman or Stu or Dewey? Dewey, okay, maybe, but Stu and Roman, that's the big question mark for me, so. Sarah Thompson saying hello. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Welcome in. Thanks for talking horror with us. What's your favorite horror movie? Let us know. We got Cruel ZB saying, hello, everyone. Can't believe we're talking Final Destination 7 already. It's been announced, baby. Oh, yeah, Final Destination 7. I'm so glad we're getting into that topic. It is officially announced. It's in the works. Jeffrey Reddick has talked a little bit about how they're plotting and planning it right now. It's coming from one of the writers so far has been announced from the previous film working on this one. And we don't know who's directing it, which I think is so interesting. I would love to see the guys, Zach and Adam, come back and do this one again who did Bloodlines, but I'm also not totally against someone else tackling the project. We did just hear from them that they were like, they did this movie and that was like all their ideas for Final Destination. I don't think they expected it to blow up the way that it did. But it was a great film. It was a great, it's a movie that feels like it picked up right where it left off. I mean, if you told me that movie came out 2 years after Final Destination 5, I'd believe you, because it's that good in my humble opinion. So I'm excited to see what Final Destination 7 is all about, but that's another one where I don't think we're getting it like next year or something like that. It's going to take a while. I mean, dude, we've been talking about Final Destination 6 since I started this page. And by the way, yesterday was the 6-year anniversary of all of this madness. So 6 years, we're moving into the next one. We're moving into, is this year 7 technically? I believe so. That's crazy. Oh my God. I can't believe I've been doing it for this long. Thank you guys for your support, by the way. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's the kind of KillJoy Jake birthday, sort of. It was yesterday, but it's sort of today. We were with the Lethal Collective yesterday, so I didn't bring it up or nothing. But I do want to thank you guys for 6 years. It's been the time of my life, and I'm so thankful for it. So sorry to end the Final Destination bit with that, but I am really thankful, man. Stefano, thank you for being a member, and thank you for gifting those memberships. Saying, sup, Jake, just passing by to start the pre-Halloween season. I'm so glad you're here, my friend. Definitely a great time to celebrate. It's spooky season, essentially, already. I don't give a fuck. Come on now. It's spooky season now, and I love it. Always makes me happy. There's like this crispness about the air. You know what I mean? You go outside during fall, and it's a little cooler. It's got a certain smell because the leaves are all getting ready to fall. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I almost forgot. One of my favorite things, walking around and smelling those like cinnamon pine cones. My fiance hates them. She's like, I do not want them in here. I don't like the smell of cinnamon, but I would kill. I would kill. I'm one of those fellas who I want like 100. I want a little sack of that in every single room. I love it. Oh, it's a smell I could never get sick of. But Stefano, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for celebrating the pre-Halloween season, baby. We love it. We love to see it. Flamingo Productions is saying, hi there, KillJoy Jake. Hi there, Flamingo Productions. Have you heard of that new Batman spin-off horror film Clayface coming in 2026? Yes, I'm excited for it. I've been reluctant to cover it. It seems like whenever I get too far out of the realm of slasher horror on here, it doesn't seem to be as much of an interest. I'm reluctant to announce this, but I do want to talk a little bit about, I'm returning to a former channel pretty soon. I'm gonna start up KillJoy Jake Retro again very soon here, and I've been working on the first like return video. And if you don't know what that is, I was doing a deep dive page for a little while where, you know, this channel's a little more conversational. Just doing videos talking about like what's the latest update, what's the latest on this franchise, that franchise, whatever. But I did last year, I started a channel where I was talking like deep dives going into a bunch of different movies, like just behind the scenes on all these different crazy, you know, like just all these different movies that I really like. I only really did like 3 videos, and then I kind of just was like, man, this is a crazy amount of work. But I'm trying to kick it back up now because I do want to talk about some weirder franchises. What I'll say is go subscribe if you're interested in me talking about things other than Scream and Terrifier, because I'm telling you right now, I'm not talking about those movies over there. That's for this page. Over there, I want to get into the weirder stuff. I want to get into some like just it's going to be a different topic every single video. It's not going to be like here where we're mainly only talking about some of the big stuff. I hopefully want to get into some weirder stuff. So if that's something that interests you, maybe, and hey, if you're just here for the Scream talk, rock on, just hang out on this page. This is the place for you. But if you want to see some of the weirder stuff I'm interested in, go check out KillJoy Jake Retro and subscribe. We're going to bring that channel back sometime at the end of the month. The first video back, I'm working on one regarding VHS 94. So I'm really excited to get into that one. That's probably my favorite anthology horror film. And we have a new VHS movie on the horizon, so it's a perfect time to talk about it. But anyways, Gina has thrown in 3 different super chats. Really do appreciate that a bunch. Thank you for the support, my friend. Thank you. You got us halfway to the goal with that. That's nuts. Very good stuff. Mastermind Killer is saying watching Ice Road Vengeance with Liam Neeson. I have never seen that before, but it kind of reminds me of Ice Road Truckers. If you remember that. My mom used to watch that all the time. So I don't know why. That's where my mind went. I love me some Liam Neeson, though. I'll tell you what. He was great in The Naked Gun. King Matthew was saying the cameo would be Billy Loomis for a flashback because it's rumored that Skeet is going to be in Scream 7 as well. I think there's no way he's not. There's no way he's not going to be in Scream 7. I mean, if we got Stu, if we got Roman, we got to have Billy, man. That's kind of technically the original ghost faces, going all the way back to what was really going on in 1 the whole time. So I feel like if that's not part of it, I'd be shocked. Val is also hanging out with us. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Thanking Stefano for the gifted membership. And of course, I hit the like button while I'm here. Thank you, Val. Appreciate that support. It means a ton. What else do we got here? Sarah's saying, so Jake, someone on YouTube said there's a possibility that Drew could be the surprise character coming back. There's no way that could even make sense. Well, you know, some of the theories being pitched right now for Scream 7 are totally nonsensical, man. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, who actually could be coming? We got people who are dead coming back at this point. Anything could happen in Scream 7. I mean, I love Drew Barrymore, though. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, how could I possibly be upset about seeing more Drew Barrymore, more Matthew Lillard in this franchise? But I do hope that it's... I think my biggest thing about Scream, why I'm so against dead characters coming back, is because I like the mystery. I like trying to figure out who it is amongst the new characters. I feel like if, let's say, a dead ghost face of any character comes back, I just feel like you're taking that away. Murder mystery is such a huge thing with this franchise. Why would you not do that? You know, why would you not make it a big mystery as to who it is the whole time? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the whole thing's getting into here. But I hope it's a shocker. I hope it's one of those where we get to the end and we're like, big old gasp. I can't believe that happened. Joe Burridge. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with last names. What is up, my friend? Damn straight spooky season. Yeah, baby. I love it. Great stuff. Welcome in, Joe. Thank you for hanging out with us. Night Owls. Reminded me of Late Night with the Devil over there. Are you going to cover Monster Season 3? No, absolutely not. I have no interest in Monster Season 3. I'm so sorry. I hate to be so negative with that. I don't like that show. I watched 1 episode and I don't like that they treated Jeffrey Dahmer like he's Patrick Bateman. Like, I shouldn't be laughing at the fact that Jeffrey Dahmer, like the opening scene of that Monster Season 1 was Jeffrey Dahmer showing someone The Exorcist 3, and it's like the way that they play it out, it's kind of silly. And it's one thing when it's Patrick Bateman, when it's like, this is fake, this is not real. But Jeffrey Dahmer, that really happened. Like, this really happened. And why are we playing that for laughs? I don't care for Monster one bit. I have absolutely no interest in that show whatsoever. Jordan Curley is saying, when is the next GullGotha stream? That will be Saturday. So that's coming up on this Saturday. I'm really excited for that. We're only doing GullGotha streams on Saturdays now. Why I say that is because I found that it's too much to do a stream almost every single day on here and then go over there and stream. I'm also trying to build a new audience on that page. I'm really thankful for your guys' support over there. Thank you for checking out the gaming channel. But I guess the point of that was like to kind of build a whole new audience as well. I'm really thankful for what I have here, but I guess I kind of want to, start a little bit of a campfire in the gaming channel region of YouTube, if possible. So we're really focusing hard on videos right now. We're going to have 2 more up later on this week that we're recording tonight. So you'll see one of those tomorrow morning, if you're interested in games, of course. And then we'll have a stream sometime this Saturday. Hopefully at 3 o'clock again. The goal is 3 p.m. Eastern time for Saturdays. And Dave's also asking if I'm going to review Smiling Friends. I probably won't. I really want to, but I just don't have the time, man. I would love to get into more of that though. Smiling Friends was so much fun to review. That I was doing that on the other page for a little while, and it's great. I love that show to death. Victor Simpson is saying, any update on VHS? Nothing yet, but we'll probably get another trailer at some point, and I'm sure I'll be talking about it. Really excited for VHS Halloween coming up here in a couple of weeks. Mikunda's really interested in some deep dives. We'll definitely check out KillJoy Jake Retro. There's 3 videos up right now, but there's going to be a 4th VHS video on VHS 94, getting into the weeds of that one very soon here. It's going to be a long video, too. I have a couple pages of it already written out, so really excited to get into that. And am I going to be talking about franchises only or standalones as well on the other channel? I'm going to be talking about anything, absolute anything and everything, just not Scream and Terrifier. I'm telling you that right now. My thing about it is I've built a very big audience with that over here, and I'm very thankful for it. But over on that page, I kind of want to build just a different audience. I guess that's kind of the goal. I feel like I've done a lot with this page, and I'm really thankful for that, but I want to build something else up. On these other pages. Joe Bomba saying, need a trailer? I'm assuming you're talking about for Scream 7, baby. Yes, I'm really excited to see what we're getting ourselves into with that. I want to see some footage. I feel like we're in this guessing game right now for Scream, where it's like, what is this thing gonna be, dude? Like, we have been so back and forth with this movie for literal years right now, So I'm really hoping it's good, and I'm hoping that once we see some footage from it, it just clears everything up. By the way, pretty much everything online is fake. I have seen multiple fake trailers from people who are saying that it's real. There is no leaked footage of a trailer or anything as of right now. Not that I am aware of. Rasmus, is that what I'm seeing? Hello from Sweden. Hello, what is up? Razmataz, how's it going? Welcome in, welcome in. Marquise is saying, I think it might be Emma Roberts, who's our secret cameo. Ooh, spooky, spooky. Very good stuff. Gina's sharing the link to KillJoy Jake Retro. Very cool. Yeah, again, if you're interested in other horror franchise, like, I would rather you not subscribe if you're only here for the Scream and Terrifier talk, and that's totally fine. Like, I just goal over there is to build an audience for just talking about these other franchises, general horror stuff. If you're interested in watching that, if you're not, all good. Don't subscribe. I would honestly rather you not subscribe if you're not interested. So. Samantha saying, hey, Jake, I have a crazy idea for a new horror movie with a giant grumpy cat rampaging through the city. Got to call up Sci-Fi for that one. They'd buy that right now. They'd buy that script, take that off your hands at this very second. Patton Jester is saying, hey, Jake, just got here. How are you? I'm fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate you a ton. Michael C is saying, hey, Jake. Hi, Michael C. Welcome in, dude. Mastermind Killer throwing $2 out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. Saying Mastermind Killer says Emily Mortimer is the cameo in Scream 7. I think, that would be so cool, in my opinion, to kind of retroactively say there was 2 killers in Scream 3, but Roman just killed her first or something like that. That would be awesome. I think that would be kind of fun. And I wouldn't be shocked if Kevin Williamson found a way to tweak the 3rd film. Because as we know, he didn't write that one. He was originally supposed to, but got busy. I think it was with Dawson's Creek, if I'm not mistaken. But he was doing some other stuff, writing for, it was a TV show. I know that for sure. But he was doing other stuff when that movie was going into production, and just kind of all of his notes pretty much were thrown out, and Aaron Kruger took over and wrote that one. But I would just like, I've also heard him talk on podcasts about how he's not really crazy about Scream 3. I just think it would be so dope if he came out and kind of just like retroactively fixed it with some flashbacks. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever, man. That would be a ton of fun. I would love to see Emily Mortimer come back in some way, shape, or form. She's in on it. You know, she's a ghost face. That could be cool. Sure, rock on. That would be fun. Thank you so much, Mastermind Killer. Thank you for the $2. Really appreciate that a bunch. Wrestling God is saying, I got a perfect solution, plus theory of how they can make sense of Stu to come back, with the idea of him being the killer and alive for how it can all make sense. If you want to hear it, Jake, you can just give me a chance. Post it. Let me know. I'm curious. Where's he been for 30 years? I will always give you a chance. Tara's saying, hey, Jake, do you know who the secret cameo is? I would love for it to be Jill, but I wouldn't mind it being someone like Amber. Amber on Fire would be funny. Rumor has it it's Amber. That's what I've heard a few times recently, but also like a week ago, it was Emily Mortimer. So I don't know, man. I've heard so many things at this point. It's probably one of those two. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Like Emily Mortimer, words. I feel like Emily Mortimer makes sense. Angelina Tyler from Scream 3. This is a character who's been rumored to have been working with Roman the whole time. She was super suspicious. If you remember, there's a few scenes in Scream 3 where it's like she's kind of sus. The house explodes and then she kind of just like pops up out of nowhere. She's like, oh no, what happened? I wasn't me. I don't know. And Dewey's kind of like, what the fuck's up with that, you know? But then there's also that scene where she kind of rushes into Sydney in the bathroom. It's very reminiscent of that scene in the original Scream, where Sydney gets attacked by Ghostface, who's hanging out in that stall. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like, you know, could it be her? Could we kind of retroactively go back and correct something about Scream 3? Here's my thing about it, I guess, kind of diving deeper into that since we've been bouncing around this topic. What does that do to Scream 3 if you make Angelina Tyler the killer, and how does that affect Scream 7? You know, how, like, is it just simply the idea of there's things about the previous Ghostface murders that we just didn't know, and then we're going to build on top of that with this next one? Maybe that's it. You know what I mean? But I feel like I almost feel like the only reason Kevin or any of the creatives behind this new movie would want to do that is simply to just kind of, you know, undo what was happening in that flick and make it his own. So I would be into that, but, you know, how does it affect the story? I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those, like, hey, we're going to tweak this because I want to. I have a chance to do this. We're going to rock and roll with it. Who actually is the cameo? I couldn't tell you. There's probably going to be a fuck ton. There's probably going to be a fuck ton that we don't know about even quite yet. Cryptic Haze is with us too, saying my theory for Black Phone 2, really excited for this one as well, is that Gwen will be the MC, and the story will follow her learning to become her own person and maturing while learning to let go of her brother and let him go to college. That would be fun. MC meaning main character, not like DJ or anything. I think what's cool about that is that we did the last one focused on Finney, and then she came in to kind of be his support. She was the reason that he essentially gets out of it in a weird sort of way, not indirectly helps him from afar with her powers. Now I feel like it's going to be the reversal of that. We're going to see Finney essentially help out Gwen with a big problem she's having, which is, well, you know, she's having these nightmares of the grabber killing her over and over again, it seems. A lot of people have said, wow, I can't believe they spoiled that she dies in the trailer. I think she's going to die in her dreams multiple times. And it's going to be like a Happy Death Day situation, opposed to just straight up Freddy Krueger. Like, I think you have to kill somebody multiple times in their dreams before they actually die. That's how the rules are going to differ between something like Nightmare on Elm Street and this flick. Because the other thing about Black Phone 2 that makes it different than something like Nightmare on Elm Street is the fact that we don't have all these characters just having dreams about the grabber. It's just Gwen. So that kind of tells me that it's going to be like, we even get that line in the trailer where the grabber says like, what happens when you die in a dream? Let's find out. And it's like, it's going to be one of those things where it's multiple times. You have to keep killing this person in their dream before we get there. So I really think that's the case. And I think you are right. I think Gwen is going to be the focal character this time. I don't think Finney's going to take a back seat. I just feel like he's going to be supporting. This one is Gwen's story where the previous one was Finn's. So I think you're onto something, I guess is my point. My Chunky Jordy's throwing another buck, 2 more bucks out there. Thank you so much for the support, Gina. Thank you. Means a lot. Austin Daniels is saying, have you seen any set photos from when Scream 7 was filming? I've seen a couple, yeah. But am I tripping? Were there no set photos of Isabel May? I'm curious how they'll have her look. So Austin, they actually had a video come out of Isabel May. Me and Craven Something Scary were both the first 2 to report on it. Some other people are taking credit for it, but whatever, it's not a big deal. It's a video of Isabel May, and she's getting chased around by Ghostface in front of what I think is Sydney's like little coffee shop. So it's a pretty cool video. You kind of see like a instance of Ghostface too, which is cool. So he looks iconic, just like how Ghostface usually does. It doesn't look like they're using like a different mask like how they did in Scream 6. It looks like it's just like straight up Ghostface again, you know? But with this being a return to form, I feel like that makes sense, you know? Just make it's just Ghostface. Make it look like Ghostface, how he used to look. I think that's kind of the vibe of this one. Patton is also asking, Jake, have you seen Rhea Ripley getting killed by Art the Clown yet? Yeah, it was like an Ice Nine Kills concert or something, right? And she comes up on stage and Art rips her to shreds. Dude, if she's not in Terrifier 4, I'm going to lose my mind at this point. Nobody has lobbied harder to be in this movie than Rhea Ripley, man. Oh my God, that would be awesome. But definitely would love to see her get killed by Art. That would be a lot of fun. That would be really cool. What an honor that would be, you know? Mikunda is saying, I saw in some Halloween shopping videos, there's a lot of Megan stuff, but people are not interested in Megan merch. I feel like after that last movie, the interest in Megan has waned a little bit, which is a bummer, man. I feel like that could have been a whole new franchise, but they just decided not to make that last one a horror movie. It was weird. It was a spy thriller. But it was a swing and a miss. It happens, unfortunately. But doing that with your first sequel is questionable. I don't know. I'm not sure why that was the choice. What else is going on here? We got Gory Tiger saying, what's up? What's up, Gory? How's it hanging? How's it hanging? Welcome in. Antonis Andriotis saying, hey, Jake, what's up, man? What's up, dude? Welcome in. I'm vibing. All right, we got Wrestling God's theory here. So get ready. The theory with Stu, where exactly he has been for the past 30 years. Pretty simple. Great idea. He was out recruiting other ghost faces. And that he was he was spying and stalking and following all the other victims and other people of past characters and like in the original film from the original movies and like all that stuff to see where they're going and where they are acting and all this other stuff. So he's just been lurking in the shadows for 30 years and no one caught up to him. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love Stu. He's a great character. But he's the beta. He's the bottom in the relationship between Billy and Stu. If we were talking about Billy here, I could maybe buy into something like that. Like even if he did get maliciously killed, I'd be like, okay, well, I can kind of buy the idea that maybe Billy's trying to recruit somebody else to be Ghostface with him. But when Stu is asked what his motive is, it's peer pressure. He was forced to do this by Billy. He still did it. And he's still pretty fucked up for doing it. Not defending him. I'm just saying I don't think he has that initiative in him. I don't think he has those character traits of, well, I'm going to be a leader now and I'm going to recruit other people to be Ghostface with me. That's just not his role from that original film. I just don't see him being this like mastermind cult leader. So I guess that's my problem with it. If he does come back, he'd have to be working for somebody else is how I would, only way I would buy it. It would just be such an unnatural transition to go from, I'm just basically the bodyguard and now I'm running a cult of ghost faces. It's like, that's crazy. What happened? I would need a whole movie of just that character transition from that to that, you know, before we even decided to reveal him as Ghostface. It's such a jump. I love Stu. And I think if we want to see Stu in his prime, you know, Stu being that goofy little guy who's running around and stabbing people, the best way to do it is flashbacks. Show us flashbacks to 1995. De-age Matthew Lillard. He doesn't even need that much of it. God damn, that man is gorgeous. You could probably just shave his beard and he's good to go. But I don't know, man. I want to see Stu the way that I remember and love him. I feel like that's going to be the best way to do it, opposed to adding character traits to him that just never really existed. King Matthew III is saying, Jake, did you see that A24 acquired the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise? What's your thoughts on that? I posted a short about it earlier this week. But yes, it's cool. It's interesting. They're planning on doing a series first, which I think is weird. I don't know. I want a movie. I don't know if I want a series based on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have been disappointed 9 times out of 10 on shows that are based on popular horror franchises. Alien Earth, outlier. I'm really enjoying Alien Earth so far. Ash vs. the Evil Dead, also pretty good. But like the rest of them, I don't know, man. They're fine. Like I haven't seen Hannibal, admittedly. I've heard that one's really good. And the Scream TV series is watchable. I don't hate it by any means. But like I've yet to be there's not one TV show based on a popular horror franchise that I feel is better than the movies. Not one. Like there's not even one comes close. Alien Earth is pretty good. Like I'll tell you that, but it's got some weird spots, man. It's got some weird. There's a few episodes where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if that works for me, but I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. It's still it's a very strong 8 out of 10 show. Really enjoying it for sure. But yeah, I don't know if I want a TCM show. You know, that's not to say that shows suck or something, but I'd rather get a movie. I just feel like that's, especially after the last one being like turning Leatherface into Michael Myers. It was just kind of like, that's not the character, you know? He works better when he's got a family of cannibals running around with him, just, you know, going around eating people. I want another movie with the family. It's been too long since we've gotten that. Like even Texas Chainsaw 3D, yeah, it's a butchered version of that. I feel like the last time we got a real, like, you know, the Sawyer family running around and chopping up and eating people, that's the 2000s flicks. You know, that's the remakes, in my humble opinion. That was the last time we got, like, to me, a bona fide, genuine Texas Chainsaw franchise film. But yeah, I really want a movie that is apparently in the works. That's something that's the next project they want to do, but they want to start it off with a series. So I don't know. It's one of those things. One of those things. A Krenich, thank you for the $5. Really appreciate the support. You're saying, loved your video on the long walk. Saw it opening night with a Garrity shirt, earplugs, and covered my face for lots of it, but I loved it. I'm so glad you did. I was really blown away by this one. I don't want to spoil anything, but man, this one was really surprising. It's one of those movies where it went from, okay, this is a really strong, like 7 or 8 out of 10. I'm really vibing with this. This is cool. And then that ending hits, and absolutely no fucking spoilers in the chat, but I wanted to like jump up in my seat and start punching the air. I was in a packed theater too, so I would have looked like a crazy person. But dude, I was like, fuck yeah, we found a way to make this fucking shocking and surprising. I loved it. Man, it's a near 10 out of 10 for me. I loved that film. Definitely a top 10 from the year. Man, if you haven't seen The Long Walk, you're missing out. I really think it's I called my dad after I saw it. Him and I are both very big Stephen King fans. And I said, dude, top 10 Stephen King movie. Like it's in the top 10 for me personally. I was pretty blown away. I've always loved The Long Walk story, and they found a way to do it better here. And almost every movie that's in my top 10, almost every single Stephen King adaptation that's in my top 10, in my humble opinion, found a way to do the book better. And it's building off of greatness to do something even better. Somehow, some way. And I really loved that film. It's without a doubt a top 10 Stephen King adaptation. And really good movie. Go see it if you want to. I was definitely not crying 7 seconds into that flick too. I don't know what you're talking about. But it's good. It's a tearjerker, man. It'll make you fucking cry. But A Greenwich, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it a ton. And I'm so glad you liked it, because I was just jaw on the ground leaving the theater for that one. I was like, shit, that was crazy. So that was 100% in my top 10. David's asking if I like the Chucky TV series. Would you like the same cast to be in a movie since the TV series was canceled? I wanted to like it so bad, and I gave it like a million chances. I don't know. Here, the one thing the Chucky TV series does really well, two things. There's two things that I loved about the show. The kills are some of Chucky's best, without a doubt. And I also loved the humor. I feel like they captured that humor really well with the legacy characters. I just do not feel like they told a good story in one of those seasons, man. And it bums me out because I feel like Chucky is a character that you can apply to so many different kinds of stories and it can work. But it always it pushed the goofiness just a little too much for me to ever take it seriously. And it's like, I've said this before and people are like, well, it's supposed to be a little goofy, but it's a show that was dealing with very heavy themes, and could have went deeper into that and could have gotten more emotional, could have done something that was really, relatable with the characters or something along those lines, but it just never pushed it that far. I don't know if I actually disliked the characters. It was just more so the writing. It was just, I don't feel like they ever did like a really effective arc for me personally. It was just really, I couldn't get into it. I was really trying too. I'm like, there's so much I love about this show. Jennifer Tilly is amazing. I can't remember her name. Just like all the people they brought back from the other movies. Amazing. No notes. So much great stuff there. But it is a show that is peaks and valleys. I mean, it is either super fucking cool or it is in the dumpster constantly. And I just, that constant shift in quality, I couldn't, I dropped it at a certain point, and I really wanted to like it too, which bums me out because it seems like everybody and their mother had a really good time with that show, but I couldn't get through it, man. At a certain point, I had to put it down. Gina's helping us reach our super chat goal. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you guys a ton for the support. Thank you. Hey, Greenwich just talking about the long walk ending. Whew, man. You're also saying that it felt like Doctor Sleep, like Flanagan paid homage to the book and film. Yeah, and that is another one that's in my top 10, Doctor Sleep. That's one that I feel just I haven't actually read the book, but it's gotta be better. I mean, Flanagan did such a good job of balancing, the book, like you said, the book and the film. Versions of The Shining. That's the thing that I really respect about Doctor Sleep. I've never actually read the Doctor Sleep novel, but I mean, what he did to incorporate elements of the film into it from elements from the book. I know that like Rose the Hat's a character and shit like that. You know what I mean? So they were able to make these things coexist seamlessly, and I feel like that's a big thing I love about Mr. Mike Flanagan and that film, which is another reason it's in my top 10, dude. So I totally agree. Some great stuff there. Great stuff without a doubt there. Chains is asking, what would a prequel to Weapons be about? How Gladys survived over the years, or how Gladys got into witchcraft? Oh, okay, that's interesting. I feel like it would probably have to be like her backstory. So this is directly from Mr. Zach Krager, the writer-director of that flick. He talked a little bit about that one, saying that basically what a whole prequel film would be based off of was the deleted part of the script. They took an entire part. I don't even think they filmed it. It was a whole section talking about where Gladys came from, like how all this started. I feel like, and I haven't seen it, I don't know what those notes are. I don't know what that deleted section of the script is. But what I'll say is I feel like the film is only enhanced because we don't know. I don't think we ever needed to know. All we need to know is that this is a character that can do that, is a character that can, do the hair, break the stick, and make people do stuff. That is literally all we needed to know about this character. And I just feel like, what could you possibly tell me about her backstory that would prequels to me are supposed to enhance they're supposed to enhance the original film. Like, I think a really good example of this is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. There's so much you learn about the family through that film that, the original 2003 flick wasn't able to really get into. You learn so much about Leatherface, more about Leatherface, who he was, how he came to be in this awful family. You learn more about, Sheriff Hoyt, which I think is really cool. And that's such a great example of an excellent horror prequel. That's like, this showed me so much more about these characters who didn't get as much development in the previous flick. I don't think there's anything you need to build on top of Gladys as a character. She's already such an excellent person in and of herself. I don't know. I'm not totally against a Weapons prequel, but I don't need it. Like, I'm not begging for it. Weapons is a great standalone flick. If they want to do more, I'll watch it. You know, listen, I'll be there day one. Trust me. After what Zach was able to accomplish in that flick, that's still my number one of the year without a doubt. You know, can they find more with that story? I'm definitely down to see if he can. I'm willing to check that out for sure. But it would probably be better, you know, her backstory, what Gladys was doing before the events of Weapons, why she had to go to Maybrook. But I'm good. I don't need it. Mastermind Killer throwing another $2 out there too. Thank you for the support, my friend. Saying, can you do a funny games watch party? Yeah, absolutely. We are continuing doing the watch parties, which is going to be really fun. We're doing 3 more VHS flicks leading into VHS Halloween. They're going to be on Fridays for the next 2 weeks, though, unfortunately. So I got stuff going on stuff's going on tomorrow because I'm going to see that Him premiere early, and then my birthday is next Wednesday. But so this Friday we're doing VHS 99 at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Next Friday VHS 85, and then the Wednesday after that we're gonna be watching VHS Beyond. I'm on the fence about doing a VHS Halloween watch party the week after. I wouldn't be against it. But I do kind of want to get into the Hell House franchise. That was something that was requested recently to watch those movies, which would actually be great lead up to the 5th film, which is dropping on Shudder this October. So I think that's going to be the spooky season watch party list, but maybe sometime in November we can get into funny games, because I think I'm kind of hoping to do things that are on Shudder, so it's like get one streaming service. You know what I mean? Get like one streaming service, and then we'll we'll just do a bunch of watch parties from there. And I'm pretty sure Funny Games is actually on there, so that would be dope. That would be pretty cool to do that one. But we'll make it happen. I'll put it on the list. So Hell House, Pie Wacket, and Funny Games. Because I actually haven't seen Funny Games. I need an excuse to watch it. I think we talked about this last time, so I definitely need the excuse to watch it. Thank you so much for the $2 though, my friend. I really appreciate the support. Antonis throwing a 5 out there. Thank you, my friend. You're saying, oh, I want to see this one. I haven't seen it. I finally watched Elio on demand last night. Have you seen it yet? No, I missed this one in theaters. It was between seeing this and the new Lilo and Stitch, and my fiance loves Stitch. Hang on, 2 seconds. Wait, I want to show you something crazy. Okay, hang on. Here we go. So first of all, this is my fiance's controller holder. This is what holds her like PlayStation controller, essentially. And then we have this is our kitchen napkins for fall, or kitchen towels, essentially. And if you think we don't have one for almost every season with fucking Stitch on it, you would be wrong. So we love Lilo and Stitch in this house. That's one of her favorite movies. So we had to go see that one opposed to Elio, which was in theaters at the same time. Oh, I gotta put this down. But I do want to check that one out. It looks cute as hell. And the other thing too is wasn't there, okay, there's that meme. I actually posted a video with this meme in it before, where you have it's like the lizard guy and he's pressing the button. Is that from that movie? I've heard that it's from that movie, or in some way, shape, or form connected to it. So I'm not, Antonis, let me know if there's a lizard in that movie. Maybe there's not. Maybe I'm just crazy, but the lizard meme is something that I've been seeing quite a bit of. So you like Lilo and Stitch as well? Hell yeah, dog. I think I like the original more. The live action one was okay, but the original, it's iconic. It's classic. Come on now. Picky Piggy would love some Final Destination watch parties. That's something we could totally get into at some point. Without a doubt, I wouldn't be against that at all. We're definitely doing Scream watch parties leading into 7. That's 100% happening. No doubt about that. For Misery Gaming just got back from HHN. That must be nice. This is what we did. I hope you will look at the clips I submitted. 19 total houses and 2 shows. Grave of Flesh, 3 Hatched in Chains. I don't even know what that is. That's awesome. 2 Dolls, Let's Play Dead, 1 Jason Universe, 1 Terrifier, 2 WWE, Wyatt Slicks, 5 Nights at Freddy's, 3 times through Five Nights at Freddy's. That's crazy. Oh no, I'm reading this wrong. Five Nights at Freddy's times 2. Okay, so you did that twice. Heard. El Artista times 2, Fallout times 2, Gulkin times 1, and Nightfield times 2. That's awesome. I'm not jealous at all. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm so glad you're having fun. I've seen all the videos that you're posting in the Discord, and I appreciate it. It's almost like I'm there, almost, you know? So thank you for covering that so I don't feel like I totally missed out. Appreciate you a ton. Unfortunately, Halloween Horror Nights is happening on like the 2 other sides of the country that I'm just not on. So I just cannot get out there. I should just move to Florida. That's what I should do. Just, find a pack of alligators to ride into Halloween Horror Nights on. That would be fun. That's what I should do. Jab is saying 4 months and 2 weeks till Scream 7. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming up quicker than we think. I'm so excited. Nearly there. Nearly there. Everyone likes the Stitch. I love it. Love to see it. Marvel Lord, thank you for being a channel member, saying Stu did let out a grunt after having the TV smashed on his face, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he makes like a little, it's pretty funny. My thing is like, if he didn't die there though, where's he been? You know, what's he been doing? I just feel like if he was in prison or something, that would have been a plot point in one of these movies, man. We would have been, we would have recognized that. It's like, oh yeah, and Stu was in prison. You know what I mean? We've talked about them being dead so many times now, I feel. Sarah Thompson throwing $2 out there. Thank you, Sarah. So much love. Really appreciate the support. Really means a lot to the page. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We also got Devontae saying, I'm excited for Scream 7, but I hope to God Sydney's daughter is not the killer. I'd rather it be Gail. Oh my God. She is not smarter and sneaky, and it would make a great holy shit moment unless she dies first. I feel like there's some characters that you just can't make Ghostface. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just like, how could we possibly write that? Sydney's daughter, like, what? I don't know. Like, Jill is one thing because it's like Jill was a character who kind of existed outside of Sydney's orbit. You know what I mean? But like, this is a character that like Sydney has presumably raised her entire life. You know, this is her own flesh and blood. I mean, Jill, you know, related to Sydney, but not necessarily someone who's in her life 24/7. Like, we're talking about the same daughter that lives in the same house as Sydney. How could you keep that from your mom? You know that, I mean, there's like that joke about like, moms going into children's rooms and shit, and like, you can't hide shit from your mom. You just can't. And especially if your mom is Sydney Prescott, you're not hiding the fact that you're Ghostface from her. You know what I mean? You're gonna get a strong talking to. maybe worse from Sydney. So I really don't think it's the daughter, and I don't think it's Gail either. I feel like Sydney has her friends that are going to be in peril in this one, and that's where you're going to get a lot of the tension. But that's a good utilization when you're in this spot with where the franchise is currently, in my opinion. You got to use characters like Sydney's family, Sydney's friends as a usage for tension building, because we know Sydney's not going to die. It's never going to happen. If Sydney died, I think the franchise fans would burn down the studio. You know what I mean? It's one of those big things. So how do you build tension in a franchise where the main character can't die? You have to build tension with the people she loves. So to me, Gail and her daughter, her her husband, whatever, these are characters that have to be getting chased around by Ghostface, because we'd have to be worried, oh no, Sydney's loved ones are going to die maybe, you know what I mean? And that's maybe just as bad, theoretically, which hopefully it works. Hopefully that works. We'll just have to see though. But I really don't think anyone that close to Sydney is going to be our killer. Maybe a friend, maybe some of the other townsfolk, maybe some of the friends of Sydney's daughter, maybe one of those folks. But I really don't think it's going to be the daughter or Gail. That just feels like such a double beat on Jill. It feels like you're trying to do the Jill thing again, and it's like, why? Why are we trying to do that again? We don't need to. Come on now. Mikunda is saying the whole world is doing the Summer I Turn Pretty watch party. I think tomorrow, I think. Yeah, words. My fiance loves that show. I have not even tried it or started it, but she's a big fan. She really likes that one quite a bit. Jab is now in Florida. Greetings from Pensacola. Hello, my new Florida man. What's up? Antonis is saying, is Thanksgiving 2 still coming out this year? We have not gotten news in months. We actually have, interestingly enough. So I recently heard an update from the person who plays what is it, John Carver in those movies, and I guess they haven't even submitted the script for Thanksgiving 2 yet. So not only is it not coming out this year, but it likely won't come out next year either. We hearing an update from him is that Eli Roth he's just been busy with stuff. He hasn't even had time to, like I said, submit the script for Thanksgiving 2. My guess is he's busy with that horror section, the horror section production studio he's running right now, which is distributing a bunch of really low budget horror flicks. So I think that's likely the case with his situation. He's just trying to figure out how to run that, and then they're going to do Thanksgiving 2. But to my knowledge, they haven't even remotely started filming or doing any pre-production for Thanksgiving 2 yet. So might happen sometime soon, but I don't think I don't think we're going to see the movie this year, maybe not even next year. So probably going to be that's another one I think we're going to be waiting for until 2027. Next year is pretty stacked though. We got a lot of big horror releases next year. We got Ready or Not 2, we got Scream 7, we have Scary Movie 6. But I think the year after that's going to be big as well. We're going to have Terrifier. I think we're going to have Terrifier 4 in 2027 and Thanksgiving 2 as well. I think that's going to be October, November back to back is what I'm currently predicting. But we'll see. We'll see for sure. Ben Urban is saying Terrifier 4 is going to be the best. Yes, it will be. I'm excited. I'm highly anticipating it. Jake, that was going to be a plot point in 3, but they had completely rewrite the script. I was talking about a lot of stuff, Samantha. I'm so sorry. I know from Kevin Williamson's original notes for Scream 3 that he was going to plan on doing, it was like the entire Woodsboro Stab fan club. We're going to be the killer in that flick. So I have yet to find any sort of remote proof that Stu was supposed to be in Scream 3. I have not seen anything about Kevin Williamson saying that. I've seen a lot of people say it. I can't find one thing that confirms that in Kevin Williamson's notes it was going to be Stu coming back to run that. I've seen a lot of people say it. I can't find any sort of anything about it, but I have seen him, like, there's a direct quote from Kevin Williamson where he says that the twist at the end of his Scream 3 would have been, it was going to be back in Woodsboro, and it was going to be like the Stab movie fan club of Woodsboro. We're all going to get up and all going to be a group, like a cult of killers. Again, maybe I'm missing it, but I have not seen one thing where it says that Stu was going to be in that flick. And I've done quite a lot of research on this. I have not seen any sort of confirmation there. Someone send me a link though, if there is something, but when the stuff that I've read from different Kevin Williamson interviews, there's just no mention of Stu. Again, I'm not trying to say this because I'm biased and I don't want Stu to come back. I genuinely can't find it. Like, I've had people say like, no, dude, Kevin Williamson has said that. I genuinely cannot find it. I've seen all the interviews where he's talked about his original Scream 3 script. No mention of Stu. Makunda's asking if I watched season 2 of Wednesday. I have not seen it quite yet. I've seen some clips. I have not had time to sit down and watch it, but maybe at some point I'll definitely check it out. I saw season 1 and I really enjoyed it, but I have not had time to watch season 2 yet. I have been just slammed. It's been crazy. So I've been busy making videos. I haven't even had time to watch all the movies I want to watch. I recently got the Substance on 4K because it was on sale. I got it for like $4. It was awesome. It was on sale and I had some like points. So I'm like, I gotta have the Substance. Come on now, that's got to be on my on my list there. So I got that recently. I've been really meaning to rewatch that. I only saw it once in theaters, and I'm so crazy. I actually reached out to Mubi, the streaming service or whatever that made that flick, and I said, hey, can I get a screener for this for my review so I can watch it again? And they're like, yeah, sure. So shout out to Mubi. They fucking rock, man. That was really cool. I really appreciated that. I was just being overzealous. I'm just like, I want to see that movie again. That was so good. And they actually sent me a screener. I thought that was the coolest shit ever. I'm like, you guys rock. That was so cool. So glad that's an Oscar winning film now. That's so cool. Great movie. That's one that I'm like dying to sit down and rewatch at some point. So definitely want to get another rewatch of that in at some point. But Wednesday season 2, it's happening. We're watching it, making it happen for sure. That might be fun to do, like an entire season of a show as a watch party. That could be cool. Just thinking about that. For Misery Gaming is saying that anyone going to Halloween Horror Nights Florida, here is my ranking. I'm not going, so I ain't even reading that. I'm sad you'd even put that in the chat. No, I'm kidding. I'm glad that you're vibing with it though, dude. I wish I could be out there. I'd do my own ranking if I was. Jason's your favorite though. That's cool. You like Jason more than Terrifier. That's pretty shocking. Mikunda saying Scary Movie 6 sounds cool. They are going to talk about modern horror movies, including Heretic. Yeah, that was that was a weird one, I feel like, on that list. There was a lot of like pretty big ones that I'm like, oh yeah, of course they're going to make fun of that. The new Scream movies, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Nope, Get Out, you know, like a lot of like some of the modern classics. But then like Heretic was on there and I'm like, oh, really? Like, okay, cool. I'm not saying that Heretic's bad by any means. I liked it quite a bit. But it was a bit of a shock. I was kind of like, that they're using that one for a Scary Movie. Okay. You know, like shit, rock on. Let's see what that's all about. Long Legs is another one that I'm glad they're ripping on. I think that's such a memeable movie. I think there's a lot of jokes we can get out of that flick. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be really cool. For Misery Gaming saying Jason House was so amazing. I'm mad I only did it once. Jason murdering me every 5 seconds. And we got to see Acid Jason from New York City. No way, that's cool. So it was like the first 8 movies, right? I think I heard that it was like, it's basically just those first 8 movies, like of different Jasons running around. Miss Voorhees was there too. I've actually seen the picture of like her severed head on a table somewhere. That was really cool. I love that. Antonis is talking about The Strangers. The director Rennie Harlan said in an interview recently that Strangers Chapter 3 would come out in early 2026, but it still says 2025 on IMDb. It is weird. IMDb is it's kind of never 100% accurate with a lot of stuff, especially upcoming releases. I remember, you know, when I first started this page, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I did a video talking about an IMDb page for Insidious 5, and it had a different subtitle. It had like this crazy plot synopsis that didn't end up being true. I guess it, and I don't guess, I know this because I know how to do it. You can actually create an IMDb account and just kind of post like anything on there, and that's how you get stuff like that. So IMDb, not a good source for movie news because pretty much anyone can go there and make stuff up. And I learned that the hard way. I didn't know. That was like 3 months into doing this channel, which we're at 6 years now, by the way, for anyone who's just dropping in. We hit 6 years yesterday for this page, which is crazy to think about. So, but yeah, that's probably just not updated or just maybe a made up thing, but we will likely get chapter 3 sometime next year, Antonis. That is definitely what I'm guessing there. They're going to do not Terrify. They're going to do Strangers chapter 2, obviously, in like, what is it? 2 weeks now? Yeah, 2 weeks. And then we'll get chapter 3 probably sometime in spring of next year would be my guess. They don't want to, I don't think they want to compete with, they got a lot of heat with the fucking Scream coming out and Scary Movie over the summer. And I think Ready or Not is a month or two after Scream 7. So maybe okay, if I'm not mistaken, I think Ready or Not 2 is April. Then you have Scream being that last week of February. So maybe March. I don't know. Maybe March would be a good time to drop that. That could be interesting. McKieran Davis is saying, I hated Heretic as much as I hated Mother. Left feeling duped. That is an interesting... Those are 2 movies that I feel are very different. What did you not like about either of those flicks? I'm curious. I don't think I love either of those movies, but I do. There's parts of them that I really like. I think core concepts of both those flicks I really like, but movies that I'm not really flocking back to real fast, you know? But I'm curious. What did you not like about either of those flicks? Let me know. Phoenix2520 saying, Jake, how's it going, buddy? I'm fucking well. I'm fantastic. How are you, my friend? You got a question in regards to the secret cameo in Scream 7. How come out of all the returning dead cast members, no one has questioned if Randy is going to show up? Well, you know what's interesting about all this is we've kind of gotten a little bit of hints about like what these characters are going to serve in the flick. We've literally had both Matthew Lillard and Scott Foley essentially talk about, yeah, we're playing these characters again. The way that they've talked about it and the way that they've kind of shaped their role in this flick, whatever that's going to be, is they're returning to play these characters. I don't think a lot of people have said, oh, well, they're going to be like deep fakes on a phone or something. I strongly doubt that. I can't see that being satisfying to fans at all. You know, I think it has to be a flashback where these characters are interacting again. I mean, think about it, dude. Roman, based on Scream 3, Roman was there during the events of the original Scream. He set that whole thing into motion, and we never knew about it until, you know, the third flick. What would be really satisfying for fans who have been here since the beginning is to show us Stu Macher and Billy Loomis actually interacting with Roman. That could be, there's so much we could learn from that. What their conversations were like, setting up everything that happened in the original flick, and then of course where it led to in parts 2 and 3. You know, their actions kind of lead to the consequences of those flicks. I think that it's got to be another Ghostface. It's got to be someone in connection to that first film. Could it be Randy? You know, for that reason, I wouldn't say no to that by any means. It could be Randy if there's something else we can learn from that. We know that the Meeks Martin twins are both in this flick, and they have a lineage to Randy, so maybe we could learn something about him that directly affects them. I don't know. I would not be totally against that, but I definitely think whoever the secret cameo is, it's got to be someone connected to the original. That's my guess. I have heard a lot of people say Amber in the last week. I've heard a few folks kind of hints at the idea that it could be Amber. I don't know. Last week it was people hinting that it was Angelina Tyler. Now it's people hinting that it's Amber. Now next week it's probably going to be fucking, I don't know, Mrs. Loomis. You know what? It's going to be a different character every single week until we find out who it actually is. So who is it? I don't know. We'll find out. We will definitely find out. But Phoenix, I feel like it's got to be somebody from the OG. I feel like it's got to be that's where my heart is set right now. Jordan Caleb saying, what's up, Jake? What's up, Jordan Caleb? How are you, dude? I'm getting kind of excited for Strangers Chapter 2. There was a clip released recently and had more tension in this 2-minute clip than Chapter 1 alone. Most things do. Man, I want to get hyped up, but I'm like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So my expectations are like down here, and hey, if it gets to here, maybe even here, that's might be a little too much to ask, I'll be impressed. If it's Chapter 1 is like the worst thing you could possibly do with a franchise continuation. If you make a movie that is literally just copy and pasting scenes from the previous 2 movies and doing them worse, that is literally the worst thing you can do for a new sequel. If you're making a new movie, it should be something fresh. Should be like a new take on the same concept. Chapter 1 is like the epitome of things I do not like about sequels, when they just repeat the same thing over and over again. That's literally the whole movie. That there is nothing fresh about that entire scene, that entire film, which is shocking. Like, I mean, it got to a point where literally all that was going through my brain while I'm watching this movie is, that's the scene from Prey at Night. Oh, that's the scene from the original Strangers. Oh, that's like the whole movie is that. And I mean, just thinking about it, I want to just punch holes in walls, you know. But can Chapter 2 be a movie that is even slightly original? Not have scenes that are directly taken away from the other 2 Strangers flicks? I don't know. We'll have to see. So far from the trailer, it looks like they're ripping off Halloween 2 this time around, but I don't know. I'm going to stay optimistic for now. Never mind. I'm not staying optimistic. I'm going to say I'm hoping that it's a 1 out of 10 opposed to the 0 out of 10 that came before it. That would be an improvement. We'll see though. Would you have preferred the Strangers trilogy had been shown on Netflix at the same time, like what they did with the Fear Street trilogy? Well, that's a really good question, because David, a big reason for the delay, a big reason why we didn't see Chapter 2 last fall, was because that they had to reshoot a bunch of stuff and basically change it because shit leaked online. I did a video kind of talking about it. I beat around the bush because they basically revealed who one of the Strangers were from the cast that we know about. So they reshot a bunch of stuff and hopefully fixed it. It was that was another yikes to add to that trilogy. But Had they, just dropped it all at the same time, maybe that would have served them better. But I think they were trying to do a thing where it was like, oh, we'll drop it in theaters, like back to back to back kind of thing. 3 movies all at the same time. I think it would have been cool. I think the Strangers trilogy was fun how they released it, but that was still pretty spaced out. They were kind of just doing that, like, but with a theatrical run, So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it almost kind of like, I think, remember even reporting on the update that, oh, we got 3 Strangers movies on the way. Like, I actually remember talking about that and being like, oh shit, they're doing the Fear Street thing, But you're basically saying put it on a streamer. They feel like straight to streaming movies, I'll tell you that much. So the people would have cared probably a little less about them though if they weren't going. When a movie's going to theaters, it's got a little more like rep. It's like, oh, this is a movie. This is something that's so good that you're going to come out, pay money to go see on a Friday night with friends. You know what I mean? That's my thing about movies. I'm a little more apologetic towards straight to streaming movies. So I think there's a little more excitement for The Strangers because it is like, it's an event. You know what I mean? We got to go out to the theater to go see it, where it's something that's just coming straight to streaming at home. I can just put that on whenever, So I think that's my thing with theatrical releases versus streaming. It's the quality is usually just better. It's more of like it's a big thing to look forward to when it comes to theatrical releases. So I don't know. Maybe that would have been better. Maybe I would have been more apologetic towards it had it been a straight to streaming flick. Phoenix, you're saying I feel like they're going to find another videotape of Randy. Like that could be what it is. That would be really cool. Randy had another tape of something that could be like one of the big elements to the mystery, how they figure out a lot of this stuff that happened back then. I would ask how Randy knew about everything then, I feel like it would have to be a tape of like something that Stu shot, maybe something that Stu or Billy shot back in 1995, 1996 time period. And then it's only being discovered now. Like that could be interesting to me. What else is going on here? We got Devontae saying in Scream 3, Angela was a big mystery, but you noticed when she got killed, Ghostface dragged her body. Was that done on purpose? Where is her body? I mean, Roman did fake his death. I really don't think she faked her death, but I could see it like as a big reveal that she was Ghostface. Only because we get this really climactic moment with the character where we kind of learn about how she got the role of Sidney Prescott. She immediately runs into the other room and then gets like stabbed, I feel like that character served her purpose for the film, why she was there. And then kind of died, I don't really feel like there was any sort of intention to say that she was still alive, but I could totally see it being that maybe she was a ghost face in some way, shape, or form. She was one of the killers and working with Roman the entire time for, whatever reason. If it's for stardom, it's just for the fact that she wants to be famous and this is what she has to do to be in this movie with this director. That could totally be in line with things we already know about the character. Her motive is, I feel like it comes pretty naturally from this character. I almost feel like that. I don't want to vilify that because I feel like that would be wrong, but there's something interesting. There's something to be said about that, I guess, with that character being Ghostface. It's almost the same thing as Stu. It's almost the idea of peer pressure, but on a on a larger sense, on a larger scale. Really walking on eggshells with that one. But yeah, it's Angelina Tyler is a very sad, it's a sad character is what it is. It's a really tragic situation for her to be in. And I feel like her being almost like forced into this role of Ghostface kind of says a lot about what that movie is ultimately trying to say about some pretty fucking evil studio execs, We all know that Milton is supposed to be, the Weinsteins, right? So I feel like there's a lot to be said about a character who's forced to be into the Ghostface role with that. And maybe that's why she wasn't necessarily revealed as Ghostface. Maybe that was actually a good choice all in all with who that character ultimately is and what she represents. Riley is saying, question, do you think the Meeks twins will live or die unless they do parallel stories? It seems like the surviving would just take away Grom. Take away. I'm like, who's Grom? Wait, is that a character I don't know about from Sydney's family? I don't think they would. Well, here's the thing. I mean, we have so many characters in this movie, if you're worried about taking away from Sydney's from Sydney's family, you got another thing coming with some of the how many people are in this movie. Yikes. I feel like it's not gonna just be the Meeks Martin twins. It's not gonna be their fault, you know what I mean? But what's going on with these characters? I will say I do know. I know exactly what the Meeks Martin characters are doing in this, but I won't say because I feel like it might be spoilery. You might see it in the trailer. I don't know. What I'll say is, to me, it's satisfying. It's a really that's cool. That's a really cool thing to do. And I'm glad that they found a way to get these characters into the story in a way that doesn't feel shoehorned. It actually feels natural based on where we ended the previous flick. That's what I'll say. So I think it's a really good idea for why these characters are there and not the sisters. I won't spoil it though, but I know why they're there. Do they live and do they die? I don't, maybe. There's a rumor going around that they might be part of a sequence where they get tricked and maybe one of them dies and the other doesn't. We'll just have to see. I don't know. I think that would actually be kind of cool, kind of upsetting, if one of them died and the other had to live to basically avenge them or whatever. That could be your emotional death, honestly. I mean, if you want, I want an emotional death in this flick. I don't want all the deaths to be just brand new characters. That's boring to me, especially after Scream 6 didn't kill anybody at the end, nobody that really had value besides the killers. So I really hope, I hope we get an emotional death of some sort in this new flick. Will that be one of the Meeks Martin twins? We'll just have to see. But I'm hoping that we get a big kill, like a really upsetting, fuck, no way that character's dead, one of those. But we'll just have to see. Fat Albert is saying, Jake, do you think that Mickey might be making a cameo in Scream 7? There's an unnamed killer cameo. It could be Mickey. That could be cool. I would love some. I've talked about it a lot on the page. I would love some more Mickey. I don't know what he would be doing in this story, though. I guess I've talked a little bit about we talked a little bit about the cameo tonight, and I've really kind of boiled it down to it's got to be somebody connected to the original movie's events. I really think if they're bringing Roman back, they're bringing Stu back. What would be satisfying with those two characters for Scream fans who have been here since the beginning? It would have to be something along the lines of showing us those interactions of these two characters together. As we know from Scream 3, Roman was the one to put this whole thing into motion. But what have we never seen on screen? Stu, Billy, and Roman all interacting together. I feel like that's gotta be what it is. If it's not that, I'd almost be a little disappointed. Why bring back Roman? Why bring back Stu? If it's not gonna add anything to who these characters are. I don't know. People are like, oh, maybe it's a deep fake thing. Maybe it's their voices AI over the phone. That would be disappointing. What? You're going to announce that Matthew Lillard is in the flick and then he's just pretending to be himself. He doesn't even get to play Stu. I think that would suck. Personally, I think majority of people would be disappointed by something like that. So I feel like we're going to see the character of Stu, the character of Roman, hopefully Billy too, because why would he not be there in this movie? On the screen playing these characters. Otherwise it's just you teased me up. You got me all hot and bothered for nothing. Where's the fun in that? So I don't give me all I'm not going to say that. Don't tease me and then and then not deliver. That's crazy, man. That's some crazy talk right here. So I'm hoping that Scream 7 delivers the goods. What else is going on here? Gina's saying to subscribe to the game, not the gaming channel, to that. Yeah, that's the gaming channel. Never mind. I read that wrong. Yeah, check out GullGotha if you want, guys. It's a really fun page. We're playing a bunch of crazy games over there. We're playing Fall Guys with viewers a lot lately, which has been a blast. You can actually download that game on literally anything, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, PC, and you can play cross-platform with people over there. So if you're interested in that, stop on over. It's been fun doing that on live streams with people. And I also have some fun new videos coming out, just goofy playthroughs of different video games and whatnot. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go check it out. Devontae saying, I'm sure we're probably going to get Sydney's mother's murder as a flashback, but I doubt it. They'll show every detail if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't think they'll show. I do know what you mean. I don't think they'll show every detail. I wouldn't want to see every detail. that's kind of too sick for a Scream movie, I feel. I do think we'll see something along the. It has to be something around that idea, though. again, it's one of those things where I'm like, why bring back all these characters if we're not going to do something of significance in the timeline? So I'm really, Scream 7 has the potential to do something really cool. With, you know, kind of changing everything we know about the franchise so far, if they do something along those lines. So hopefully it's that. Hopefully it's really good. Got to say this about the Terrifier house. Someone was running away when Art in front of my wife, and Art murdered the victim right in front of her, and Sienna makes a special appearance. That's really cool, man. That's so cool. I'd kill to go through the Terrifier house, I guess is my point. That would be sick. That would be a lot of fun. I hope you had a really good time, man. I hope you're having a really good time going through all that HHN. I got to do it a few years ago, and it is the best haunted house experience ever. I couldn't recommend it enough. It's a ton of fun. Mike Silva, what's up, Mike? How's it going, dude? Welcome in. Thanks for talking a little horror with us. What's up? Fat Albert saying Mickey could be a quick psychological fuckery with Sydney in passing. Supposedly the unnamed characters on the killer board from 6 that Bailey and Kirby were looking at, and it isn't Jill. I'd be down for it to be Mickey. He's a character I feel like gets into it a little later on, you know? If Stu's also going to be there, this would have to be before Stu dies in Scream, which some people don't want to hear that, but it would have to be before the events of the original Scream. You know what I mean? It would have to be kind of before that, and Mickey doesn't really get involved until well after that. So I guess that's my head scratcher, you know? Roman's there, Stu's there. How could Mickey be there? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. Mike is saying, looking forward to Terrifier 4. Love the first 3 Terrifier movies. I totally agree. I'm really excited for part 4. I hope it's good. I hope this big swing is something that pays off for Mr. Leone. Because I think you have to elevate it after Terrifier 3. You know, I definitely feel like some of the best kills from the whole franchise is Terrifier 3. Don't get me wrong. But if the goal with these movies is to up the ante with the kills each time, I just feel like you're going to get to a point where it's like, how could we possibly top what came before? You know, how could we possibly go deeper into that? And I kind of feel like we're at that point now. Terrifier 2 and 3 had the most brutal kills I have ever seen on screen. I mean, how do you go beyond that? Terrifier 4, I feel like the only thing you can elevate now is the concept itself. Go beyond just a typical slasher story. Make it this big epic. I think that's the only place you can really go to step it up. I talked about it a bit in my video today, saying that, you know, I would love more Terrifier flicks after 4, but how could you possibly do something to elevate it beyond what we're talking about 4 could be? You know, 4 is this epic battle between heaven and hell. You know, how do you go bigger than that? You can't. You know, whatever would come after that would have to be a downgrade, and people might look at that as disappointing. Or maybe it's a big return to form, you know, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like maybe 4 is so out there that people are like, okay, that got a little crazy. I want me you know, kind of just pull it back, give me another just Art the Clown running around stabbing people kind of movie. I don't know, you know, it could be one or the other. But either way, Terrifier 4, definitely really excited for it. And I hope it's great. I hope it kicks butt, and I hope it makes a gazillion dollars. A terrafillion dollars. Blizz73 saying, hi, KillJoy, what I miss? An hour and 22 minutes of horror talk, my friend. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for being here, my friend. We appreciate you a ton. Thanks for talking horror. Thanks for supporting the page. Gina is throwing out a little link to the KillJoy Jake retro page if you guys are interested in hearing me talk about other horror franchises besides Scream, Terrifier, and Final Destination. Stop on by that page. We're getting into some VHS talk real soon here, which is going to be fun. Fun. What else is going on here? McCunda's saying Terrifier 5 could be something like Terrifier 1, kind of going back to basics, essentially, just Art the Clown running around killing people again. Because my thoughts are, if Terrifier 4 is like the finale, that's the conclusion to the series, this is how Art the Clown is going to like essentially die. You know, how Sienna's going to kill him. Then could Terrifier, you know, the 5th film, could this be like a prequel that takes place before the original flick? We see his like upbringing as a serial killer. That could be kind of cool. It would be before all the supernatural bullshit, but I almost, my thing about this is I almost feel like that's just a staple in Art the Clown's fandom. You'd have to find a way to get supernatural stuff in there still somehow, right? I'd almost be disappointed at this point if there wasn't some sort of goofy, crazy shit going on there. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens. We could learn how he, got the gun trick. I mean, think about that, right? That's a big part of the original Terrifier that some people either love or really hate. How did he learn to, come strapped just in case, right? That'd be kind of cool to learn about. Leprechaun versus Terrifier. Let's make it happen. That's crazy. I love it. KillJoy, we think alike. I can't see a Terrifier 5. Maybe a spinoff. Yeah, maybe I mean, that's a good point, though, Mike. I actually didn't even think about that. You could do a spinoff with a lot of the different crazy killers we have in this franchise. I mean, we have, Victoria Hayes, the little pale girl. These are crazy-ass side characters that you could do more with, theoretically, maybe it's movies that take place at the same time as something like Terrifier 2 or Terrifier 3, maybe movies in between, with some of the ghosts, with some of the other supernatural elements that are alive and well in the series. Kind of like what they're doing with John Wick right now. I mean, that ballerina flick was pretty cool. We got to see what John Wick was doing for moments of part 3. We kind of expanded that a little bit, which was cool. But Mike, that's actually a good point. A spin-off flick of, just following another slasher villain, what they're up to. I mean, what was Vicky up to most of the time of Terrifier 3? Could you not do a whole flick where it's just Vicky on her own, just slashing people to shreds? I wouldn't be totally opposed to that. I could actually get into something like that. Vicky was such a good slasher in that movie, just standalone. I mean, oh my God, that was awesome. Nightmare on Elm Street watch party, says Samantha. That would be great. I would definitely be into something like that. Maybe before Terrifier, we watch some of the Nightmare flicks. That could be fun. Would be nice to get into some more of those for sure. Guys, I'm so sorry. I want to go for another hour, but I think I got like 5 more minutes in me, and I am winding down for the day. It's been crazy. That Terrifier video was a little bit of research, let me tell you. Let me tell you, we've been getting into it. So a few more comments and questions and horror takes, and then I think I'm gonna sign off for the night. But Lewis is hanging out with us. What's up, dude? Saying, hey Jake, hope you're doing well, man. Thank you, appreciate it. I think a Vicky spinoff of the Terrifier movies would make sense in a way if done right. I totally agree. I think before she passes, before she before she turns into a blood portal to hell, we could totally do some crazy shit with her. Say she's running around on Christmas, slicing people up. What was she doing that whole time? I mean, can we just say she was, running around killing people? Why not? That movie takes place across a couple of days. Vicky could have had her whole own adventure. Maybe we even get another kill with Art the Clown. There's some weird things about the timeline in Terrifier 3. You could do a movie that takes place at the same time, where maybe Art pokes his head in for a brief stint. Maybe I don't know if it's like after, he kills that family or whatever, maybe before or something. It'd be kind of cool. So it would be fun. I'd be very into that. I wouldn't mind it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind seeing what she was up to the whole time. Lewis is saying, I'm from Wales, by the way. I am a horror fan too. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging out, talking a little horror with us. I'm glad you're a fan. Makes me happy. You're in the right place. If you weren't a horror fan, you would be absolutely in the wrong place. So I'm glad you're here with us. Thank you. I own the 3 Terrifier movies on Blu-ray. Very nice. I also have them on my little shelf in my movie room. So I gotta put some of these on again, man. They're just too much fun. Too much fun. You've been up since 3 a.m., Mike? Bro, what? What have you been doing since 3 a.m.? You saw all 3 movies on Blu-ray from your library. Very nice. You're from Boston, too, Mike. Very nice. Very nice. I love Boston. Got a few friends out there. Great city. Lewis is an avid movie fan too of all genres, but I love horror a lot. I also love kids movies, man. I'm a big fan of kids movies. Absolutely love them. A lot of great movies out there in all the different genres, along with video games and comics, also music too. Well, hey, if you like video games, I have a whole gaming channel, my friend. So go subscribe. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty fun place. I'm playing some horror games from time to time, but we're trying to kind of branch out into some other crazy stuff. So if you're into that, check it out. We just played that game Peak and Fall Guys, just playing a bunch of weird, like crazy multiplayer games. So yeah, check it out. GullGotha is the name of the channel. It's a fun little place for fun little goofy videos. I have some new ones coming out later on this week. Mike is a huge fan of Japanese superhero shows, horror, and sci-fi movies. That's interesting. I love me some Ultraman. I haven't watched Ultraman in forever. Lewis is excited for Silent Hill F. I heard it's legit amazing. I'm also really excited for that one. It looks sick. I hope it's good, man. I feel like we haven't gotten a really crazy Silent Hill game in a while, so I hope this one bangs. I'm also really excited for the new Resident Evil, which I'm going to try to cover the same weekend as Scream 7. I don't know how I'm going to do it because that's going to be like the busiest weekend ever, but but I'm going to try. Resident Evil 9, man, that's nuts. We have so many good games on the horizon. It's insane. Am I ready for the new Wolverine game from Insomniac? Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. I'll play it. I'll check it out. I loved the Spider-Man games, like those recent games that came out for like I think it was were those PlayStation exclusive? I don't know, but those were good. Did really enjoy those quite a bit. So a lot of good stuff there. I should play Cooking Mama. I had that on my Wii like a long time ago, years and years and years ago. Cooking Mama. Damn, that's funny. Lewis is saying Resident Evil Requiem. It looks good. Wondering where is the Code Veronica remake? Yeah, weren't they they said they were gonna make that next, right? Wasn't that like kind of the next big thing? I'd love to play that too. I loved the Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes. Those were a ton of fun. Very good stuff there. The Resident Evil 4 remake, I never finished it. I played a little bit of it on stream, but I never finished it. I'd love a Resident Evil 5 remake with a better, companion, because man, the bot in that game is so dumb. I would love a Resident Evil 5 remake. That would be really cool. But Code Veronica, maybe even more. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to be signing off, but I do really appreciate you guys a ton for hanging out with us. Again, we will be live again at some point tomorrow at 3 p.m. We're not doing a watch party, though. I want to do something. We did like 2 like general horror talk streams kind of in a row, so we're going to do something a little different. Stop on by tomorrow around the same time. Watch party Wednesday is moving to Friday this week. We're watching VHS 99. Stop on by Friday. It's going to be a ton of fun. And don't miss the gaming stream happening this Saturday. So lots of streams, lots of videos, lots of crazy stuff happening. It's spooky season, baby. We're going nuts. Nothing's off the table, ladies and gentlemen. But guys, thank you so much for the love. Really appreciate the support. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.